Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Let's go ahead and get started with our lesson objective. So our lesson objective for today is we will use the WIK and WINK strategy to help us understand word problems. All right, let's go ahead and get into our vocabulary. So our vocabulary for today is word problems. What is a word problem? So a word problem is a few sentences describing a real life scenario where a problem needs to be solved by using math. So we have our example right over here, right? So it says there are 88 cars on the lot at the Northern Avenue car dealership. Last month, 55 of them were sold. How many cars are left? So we need to solve that problem of how many cars are left. And in order to do that, we need to use math. So that is what a word problem is. It's giving us a few sentences or a story or a scenario, and we have to solve it. All right, now that we figure out what a word problem is, we're not going to use this strategy too much, but I want to introduce this to you. This is something called the UPS check. And this strategy helps us, so this acronym helps us kind of solve word problems or understand, okay, what do we need to do in order to solve this problem? So what we need to remember with our UPS check is what everything stands for. So U stands for understand. Okay, so in the U part, we are trying to understand what is the problem asking us, right? So that is what we need to do. We need to figure out what we can understand from the word problem. Then the next step is to plan. So we have to figure out a plan of how we are going to solve this problem, right? Then the next step is to solve. So now we solve, after we've made our plan, now we need to solve our problem. And then the check is just check it and check our problem, our answer, and see if we did it correctly. How are we going to check our answer to see if we got the right answer, right? So these are our steps for word problems. Now, for today, we are going to focus on the understand portion of solving word problems. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at a word problem to begin with. So we have this word problem over here. And it says an orange weighs 198 grams. A kiwi weighs 85 grams less than the orange. What is the total weight of the fruit? And so for this, we are going to do the U part of our UPS check, which means we're going to try and understand this problem. That is all we're going to do today. We're not going to solve it. We're not going to make a plan. We're just trying to understand the problem. So for this portion, I like to use a strategy called WIK. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And WINK. Okay, so we're going to use the strategy of WIK and WINK. So WIK stands for what I know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and figure out what is it that I know in this problem. So let's go ahead and read our problem again. So it says an orange weighs 198 grams. A kiwi weighs 85 grams less than the orange. What is the total weight of the fruit? So I know that an orange weighs 198 grams. I'm going to put that down there. So orange is equal to 198 grams. So that's the first piece of information that I know. Let's go ahead and see the next sentence says a kiwi weighs 85 grams less than the orange. So I know that as well. That's more information. So a kiwi is equal to 85 grams less than the orange. Right? Now, that is the information I know because the next sentence after that is saying what is the total weight of the fruit? Now we have to go on to our WINK. So our WINK stands for what I need to know. Right? And the WINK is usually going to be our question in our story problem. So that is what is the total weight of the fruit? That is our WINK. That is what I need to know. So what I need to know is the total weight of the fruit. And that is it. That is our understand portion of the UPS check. So now we went ahead and we fully read every part of the word problem, and now we have a pretty good understanding of what we need to do. All right. Now let's go ahead and do this again with one more problem. So we're going to go ahead and do our WIK, what I know, right? And then let's go ahead and do our WINK, what I need to know. All right, now let's go ahead and do part one. What is it that I know? So it says the total amount of rain that fell in Beaumont, Texas in 2 years was 282 centimeters. In the first year, 185 centimeters of rain fell. How many more centimeters of rain fell in the first year than in the second year? So let's figure out, what do I know? So I know that the total amount of rain that fell in Beaumont, Texas in 2 years was 282 centimeters. So total rain is equal to 282 centimeters. All right, so that's the first bit of information that I know. Now, what else does it say? It says in the first year, 185 centimeters of rain fell, right? So that's the second piece that I know. So I know that in first year, it was equal to 185 centimeters of rain. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that down. And then our next one says, how many more centimeters of rain fell in the first year than in the second year? So that is our question, right? So that is our WINK, what I need to know. So what I need to know is how many centimeters of rain fell in the first year than in the second year. So I'm going to just write that down. How many more centimeters of rain fell in first year? Move my face out of the way. Actually, you know what? Let me X that out. In the first year than in the second year. Okay, and that is our WIK and WINK, right? So we figure out what I know and what I need to know. Once we have this information, we can go on to our plan, but we will focus on that for next lesson. But until then, let's go ahead and review our lesson objective. So today we use the WIK and WINK strategy to help us understand word problems. So that was a big thing for today. We just wanted to understand the word problem. All right, fantastic. I hope this is helpful. I'll see you later. Bye, y'all. Have a good day.